Hello, my YouTube friends. Thanks for joining in tonight. Man, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do right now. It should be right down snare. Rap a dap on that, baby man, and come on in. Oh, we got some great things going on each and every night. As you guys know, we bring it on, man. We bring it on. We bring it down right here on the Audio Master channel. So many cool things going on, man. We got our Audio Master Facebook group and people from all over, even Texas, from Timbuktu, you name it. They're joining the group. And we love it, man. We love each and every one of you, man, because you're all important and you're all just wonderful, man. You're all musicians, engineers, and the whole nine yards. And here's the thing, man. You're so welcome. And we appreciate you, man. We do, because that's what this group is about, is encouraging and building one another up, man, in these times that we're in right here. And to get in your recording studio and start jamming out, man, on your bass guitar, your acoustic guitar, laying down some daggum tracks, man, getting into the studio and enjoying it, man. That's what it's there for, right? Man, I get so pumped up. But tonight, I really wanted to talk about something really, really cool. And I said I was going to talk about it, right? So we're going to go down with it tonight. And we're going to do a test here. And it's going to be between the Shure 55Sh microphone and the 1965 Shure 57. Okay, so that's when they came out with the 57, was in 65. They came out with the Shure. Hey Nick, what's going on, man? I appreciate you coming in tonight, man. We're doing a bang out, man, between the 57 Shure microphone and the 55 Shure microphone, and I want you guys, Nick, on the other end, to tell me what if you can hear the difference between these two mics, because I don't know, man. They just really sound close, and we're doing a shootout, and I want y'all's opinion, not my opinion. I need y'all's opinion, right? But I wanted to say they came out, Shure Microphone introduced the 55 actually in 1939, right? So that's when they introduced the 55, and it was called the Fat Boy. It was like really, really big. It was bigger than the 55. I don't know how they came up with 55, but when they introduced it in 39, so maybe you guys can do the research on that and find that out for me. I'd love to know. But so right now I'm talking to the 57, the SM57, and it does have a pop filter on it. And I love this microphone, man. For $100, I mean, you can do your podcast with it if you have a pop filter on it. And I actually ordered the shock mount too, Nick. The shock mount was like $22, man, and I got it on Amazon, and it fits this 57 perfectly, man. And then the microphone's $100, $99. You can get these anywhere for $100. And then the popper stopper that actually fits, that's made for this 57, was only like $12, man. So relatively cheap compared to the SM7B and the RE20. And so anyway, I'm talking to the 57 right now, man. And I'm fixing to hit this 55. And the cool thing about the 55 is it's got this switch on it, right? So I can turn it on and off when I need to. But so this is a 57, Nick. You tell me what the 55 sounds like, man. Okay, I'm gonna talk off axis a little bit like this. And I'm gonna try to get up close to the mic. So now I'm close to the 57, and this is what you got. And now we're talking through the 55, man. I'm up close, as you can see. The plosives are going this way across the microphone, but it's really not a bad way to record if you're going to get a vocalist up there recording. Kind of getting close to the mic and working the proximity effect. I think if I was going to put this one in the studio, though, I think what I would do, Nick, would put a popper stopper, a screen, in front of it, probably about an inch and a half from it, and then have the vocalist stand back at least 6 to 7 inches from that. And that way there wouldn't be any plosive. Love seeing the notification when you go. Thanks, man. Hey, you know what? Here's the gig, Nick. If you wouldn't have hit the slam the bell out of the park, if you wouldn't have got a grand slam and hit that bell out of the park, man, it wouldn't. I don't think it would notify you that I'm coming on, man. I don't know. I don't know. Um, the 55 is more deeper and has a more darker sound. It does, doesn't it? And is it because I'm working the proximity effect? Is it because I'm closer to the capsule? Okay, now I've literally got this thing resting on my cheekbone. Okay, but I'm talking across the capsule. Now I'm gonna do the same with the 57 and listen again for me, man, and tell me what you think. Okay. Okay, now I'm talking across the capsule like this on the 57 as well. And I don't know, man. In my cans, it's hard for me to tell because I'm talking in real time and I don't know what you hear, right? So, what do you think, man? Do you think the 55 still sounds dark? Okay, this is the 57. I got my cheek up against it, and this is the 55. I got my cheek up against it. Are they pretty close, or what do you think, man? What's your thoughts? I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to tell, man, because I'm talking in real time, so I can't distinguish so much, like you can. But I tell you what, man, I love both of these microphones. Now, this microphone right here, the 55, was like 149, I think. It's the SH series. It's kind of hard to believe that they've been out more than 80 years, man, producing this style microphone, and it's still killing it, man. Everybody knows this mic is the Elvis mic. I don't know. I guess there was a post stamp or whatever, and he was singing through this mic. The 57 is more clear than the 55 and somewhat of a drag, somewhat of a drag, if that makes any sense. You mean as far as clarity goes? Maybe it's not as clear. Is that what you mean by drag, or kind of what's that vibe? What are you feeling, man? This is a 57, man. It's kind of more upfront. It sounds, I don't know, man. I really don't know because to me, they both sound good in real time. I don't know. Now, the 55, you might want to sing further away from it. You might want to take this mic and sing out here, you know, and get a little more brighter sound because, if I'm too close to it, that proximity effect takes place. And that's all that extra low end that we don't need anyway, right? In a vocal track. But anyway, man, I appreciate you letting me know what you think on that. These are two racehorses in the studio, man. Whether you're an entry level studio guy or you're someone who's been in for 30 years, you'll find a 55 in the studio. You'll definitely find a 57 in the studio, and not just one. You'll probably find 10 to 15 of these because they're just used extensively on drums and over and under, and so they're used a lot on a lot of different instruments and whatever. It's kind of like I don't know, the workhorse of all the Shure microphones, just because it's I don't know, you can drop them in mud and everything else, man. They just keep on ticking. But last night, if you missed out on last night, Nick, man, I did the RE20 and then the 57, and that was a good race too, man. If you missed that video, you need to go back and check that puppy out because I don't know. I think the RE20, they marked it down from like 450 and now it's like 399. It's the same price as the Shure SM7B that I got back there hanging up. And but when I bought it, it was like 450, and so it was quite a bit more expensive. And then the shock mount, the original shock mount that comes with the RE20, was like 89 bucks or something like that. So I said, man, I really didn't like that dinosaur look or whatever. And I said, man, I can make my own. I can, configure my own shock mount for the RE20. And I'm glad I did, man, because look at it. It looks tight, man. I actually found a color of paint that's pretty close to the RE20 and painted it because it came black, and actually tricked out the shock mount bands and got some thicker bands than what comes with it. Went down to Hobby Lobby over there, man, and found some bungee cord material and cut those bands the same size with scissors, and then stitched it together with sewing thread, and then pulled some heat shrink over that, man. I got I got creative, man. Pulled some heat shrink over that, Nick, and then heated it up, and it looks store bought, man. It looks just like it looks just like I bought it like that. But anyway, I thought I did pretty good on that, man, and I'm proud of myself with that gig. But here's the thing, Nick. In your studios, man, as you know, you'll always see an RE20. You'll always see 57 in there. You'll see a 55 in there. You maybe even see a Fat Boy in there. You'll see a lot of Shure microphones. You'll see Sennheiser, the 421s in there. You'll see some nice condensers in there. Let me show you what this dude sent me the other day, man. So anyway, my channel is really all about, recording and getting people pumped up to get in their studio and start rocking and rolling again, man. And don't let things get you down and do what you love. So anyway, James, he's a subscriber and he went through a divorce and whatnot, man. I keep bragging on this because I'm stoked that he sent me this mic right here, man. It's a blue. I've never owned a blue microphone, and I want to say blue has been out, what, since 2000, maybe. I don't know. I need to do the research on that and see when they actually came out. But he sent me this entry level blue condenser microphone, dude. And I mean, it's not expensive, but it was just a thought, right? And I got it, and I love it, man. It sounds really good. It's got a minus 20 dB pad on it, so you can use it on amplifiers and whatever, and get it up close. And then it's got a bass roll off as well, kind of like a high pass filter or whatever on it. And so it's kind of kind of like I don't know, just a multitask knife or a Swiss Army knife or something. It seems like it sounded really good, man. I was like, wow, that really sounds good. But anyway, man, I was really stoked about that he sent that this way, man. And kind of it was a big surprise. But here's the thing, man, it's all about encouraging people to get in their studio and recording and stuff. And I did want to say I've got a so if you don't know what this channel is about and you're just joining in, guys, this channel is about learning new audio recording tricks. As you know, we've been doing that. We've been going over different audio recording tricks and whatnot, learning about pink noise, learning about how to get a good balance, and then completely just wiping the slate with it and doing a lot of automation and stuff. And then it's also about reviews on microphones, and then reviews on new equipment, and interviews. So it's about interviewing people that's out there in the music industry, whether you're a musician or another engineer, going into other engineer studios and checking out what they're doing. So man, it's just a really cool place to hang out, man. We got a lot of great things going on here, and we want all of you to be a part of it, man. It's just it's about you guys, and that's what it's about, you guys. And it's about you know talking about different mics and whatever. And Teddy, I'm going to do a video for Teddy because he was wanting to know about what kind of DAW to start out on, and then also about an entry level microphone that would be a good podcast for him to do YouTube videos. So anyway, I'm going to be doing a video for Teddy on DAWs and whatnot, and some that you can get for relatively cheap, and then some in the middle of the road, and then some on the high end side. So we're going to be going over that stuff too, probably the first of next week, because this week we're already Thursday, man. And I want to finish doing the microphone reviews and shootouts between some of these dynamic microphones that's been out there a long time. So I want to get that past me and let you guys decide on what mics you think sounds better, and me just kind of just be a bystander and let you guys make the decision. Now, keep in mind, I have the preamp and the settings are the same, so that the levels are the same or pretty close to being level, so that there's no difference between that. And so that way you can make your own choice as to what microphone you might want to buy, put in your studio, man. Again, these are all race horses. So all of these microphones are studs, and that you'll find them in every recording studio. But here's the thing, some cost more than others. And we all don't, we can't go out and buy, spend 3,000 or 4,000 or whatever all at one time, right? So we have to, budget ourselves with things and work our way to our goals. So anyway, man, So we got a lot of cool things going on. We got interviews coming up with Rick Dana. I can't wait to get hold of Rick. He actually typed into the Facebook group today. Rick, if you're out there, I want to give you a shout out, man. I'm ready, and all my YouTube subscribers are ready to have you on, man. Uh, we just want to have you on. We want to hear all about how you got started in music, what you're doing now, man. Are you coming out with another album? If so, who you're going to get to do it and everything. I don't know, man. There's just a lot of questions I want to ask you, man, and get you in here and hang out with us because a lot of my subscribers are wanting to get in too, man. So they want to hear all about you, man, what you got going on. And then between all that, that's really what the channel's about. So we just appreciate all of you hanging out with us. The only thing that I do want to say is if you haven't subscribed to the Facebook channel, it's hard for some of you to subscribe if we're not friends on Facebook. Okay, so here's the thing: friend me on Facebook, and then there's a little section up to the top. It says groups. You go in that groups, you slam that group button, and then there's a little box, and then you type in Audio Master. It'll bring you to my channel. And look, here's the thing: if it doesn't bring you in, I'll see you. I'll get a notification from you, and I'll pull you in, man. And then you can hang out with us and see what we're doing. We're posting, open vintage microphones, music, just all kind of stuff, man. And we want you to be a part of it, man. You don't want to miss out. So that's how you do that. And I'm not sure what tomorrow night if I'm actually going to do between the RE20 and the old Turner microphone from the 1940s, or I might do the 57 and the Turner microphone from the 40s. So I don't know. It's gonna be one of those, man. And I want to kind of blow through some of these, man. So we're doing some old microphones up against some new microphones, and it's just gonna be a really neat thing to see what sounds best, and you can kind of weigh it out and see where you want to spend your money, man. I don't know. To me, they all sound great. The ones that I've done the shootout for so far, and I could go with either. I could talk through all of them just because I know they're all studs, man. But some cost more than others. So I mean, the RE20, it's in every studio. You see this on every broadcasting studio from here to Timbuktu, like I said. But and then the Shure SM7B. But it's interesting to hear this 57 at work, man. I mean, look at this. When I get close like this, it really sounds almost like a broadcasting microphone. I mean, dadgum. I mean, how much it's clear, it's got nice top end, nice mids. And then if I get close like this into the microphone, it's got some nice lows to it, right? $99, man. I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to beat that 57, man. I don't know, unless you just want to look cool and talk through one of these or whatever. I don't know, man. But here's the thing, man. It's all about the sound. And here's the thing: if you spend $100 here instead of $399 here, you've got that extra dough, man, to get something else in your studio. And so that might be, the way you want to start out. Um, a lot of times you don't need the most expensive microphone. You just need something that works and sounds good. And then here's the thing: if you want to upgrade your broadcast microphone to something more elaborate, like the SM7B or whatever, you can still use your 57 mic in your guitar cab. So it's not like you're wasting your money if you start out with the 57. So you can always use it on something else, right? And believe me, you can't have enough 57s in your studio, man. So you can't go wrong with that mic. But there's so many different microphones out there, right? So I don't know about you guys, but you can even go on Amazon and you can type in condenser microphone, or you can type in dynamic microphones, and tons of mics come up from Sennheiser, Shure, AKG, Neumann. I mean, you got all these different nice name brands that make some really, really nice microphones. And so, if you're a novice, you're looking at all these mics, man. You're going, well, my friend has this mic, and then his friend has this mic, but what mic do I need? Because I've never used either one. Haven't you been in that situation? I remember the days when I was, a young cat, 18, 19 years old, I was thinking the same thing. The only mics that I ever really used was a 57 and a 58, and I really didn't know anything else, man. And I remember when Audix came out, the old, you guys remember the old Audix microphones? That was like a step up from a 57 or a 58 at the time. And so, I spent a little, I think it was like $300 for that mic back at the time. And that was a lot of money back way back when. And I got that mic. I thought that was the coolest mic. But see, there you go. There's so many to choose from, right? And so a lot of us just need some, need somebody like me or someone else up here doing AB in for you guys to listen to and say, well, I don't know, man, it kind of sounds just as good with that mic or this mic. So maybe I'll, try this one. But here's the thing, either mic you go with, you're not going to go wrong. So you're not going to have any regrets, man. All these mics that I'm talking through sound really, really good, man. And so they're in every studio. So it's not like you're gonna make a bad decision on what mic you get. Okay, it's just what you can afford at the time right now, and that might play a large role as to your next step in building your studio. So I know a lot of times you don't want to go out and buy a $3,500 Neumann 87 U87 when you still got a doll to buy and a computer to buy and all this other stuff, right, man? Unless you just got the dough and it don't matter, money is no option. But if you're on a budget, man, and you got a 9 to 5 job like most of us, you want to strategically play it out to where you can get everything in and start recording right away, man. Get in there and start recording. So Teddy asked me the other night, and I want to kind of hold off on this, man, but about the dolls. And I do want to say that there's a lot of different dolls out there too, guys, that you might want to you know just do a little more research in. And actually, if you've got some friends who are using a certain doll and he's let you in on a session and he's showing you the ropes and how to navigate through that doll. I need to set this mic down. Hang on a second, guys. Check, 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 check. Okay, I got it turned off. Check, 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 check. Okay, so let's just unplug this baby. Put this right here, man. That thing's getting heavy in my old hand. I couldn't hook it up here on this actually the stand because I needed an adapter to go to it to get it away from this bar so that the plug would go in it. So I had to hold that baby in my hand. But there's a lot of dolls out there, man. And here's the thing, man. It's nice to get something that you're kind of familiar with already, okay? And I'm gonna go into it on that next video a lot, but I just kind of wanted just to touch on it tonight. If you have a friend who's using a doll that you've seen before, it may be Pro Tools, or maybe that's what you studied in college or whatever, then I suggest going with that doll first and learning it or using it. Wow, hear that train going off? And using it, and then actually, you know, start off with that because you're gonna want to go in your studio and you're gonna want to play around a lot more if you already know the ins and outs and how to move around and navigate within the DAW itself. And actually, you know how to pull all your plugins in and set up everything so that when you go to each time you open up a session, all your plugins are on each channel that you're familiar with. You might have certain plugins that you like to use on your kick drum. Well, every time you open up that session, bam, all those plugins are already there in that session for it just makes everything a lot faster, right? And then, on two, you might have the snare or whatever, so every track is singled out as to how you like to lay things out. You have your drums first, and maybe your bass guitar, maybe your rhythm guitar, and then your lead guitar, and then your keyboards, and then your synth, and then, however you like to structure it out. What's really cool is if you can do that beforehand, right? And then when you do that, it just makes your session, it just makes it so much easier to know you can go in your studio, man, and just fire your computer up and then open up your DAW, and you already got a session right there, and you can type in the name of who's actually going to be in the studio or whatever song it is that you're actually recording, and you're ready to go, man. You don't have to wait on anything. You don't have to, find all your plugins and drag them in and do all that crazy stuff and reroute stuff. That can spend you can waste so much time doing that when you're going into your studio if you don't set all that stuff up way beforehand. And it's such a drag doing all that because when your sessions are already set up and you get inspired and you grab your guitar and you're jamming the night before and you're sitting in your studio and you're coming up with a certain chord pattern or whatever on your guitar, and then you're feeling it. You come home the next day and you're feeling it, and you rehearse through your song one more time, and you go, I got to record this, man. Let's get a click track going, get a click, or let's get a drum beat going, or whatever, or tempo, and play to that tempo and just nail the track, man. And you didn't spend an hour or 30 minutes jacking around trying to get your session going, right? There's nothing worse than having to wear all the hats at once when you get inspired. So yeah, it's cool wearing all the hats and learning everything, learning your instrument, learning how to track, learning how to mix, learning how to master and all that stuff. But when you're having to, do a lot of it at one time and you're inspired to put down a guitar track or a vocal track, you don't want to have to do that, man. So just keep that in mind. Get your session, whatever DAW you like to use, whether it's Reaper, whether it's Cubase, whether it's Nuendo, whether it's Logic, whether it's Pro Tools. It doesn't matter what it is. Learn it and learn it to the fullest, and so that you can navigate through it. It just makes so. For example, I had a guy over the other night. This is a Macintosh actually that I'm doing my videos through. Well, he's a PC guy, and I wanted him over here. We were going to look at some things, and he was going to help me with some different things, some projects that I got going on. And I'm telling you, man, when he's a PC guy, that's what he does. He works on PCs and he goes to hospitals and everywhere else and fixes their problems, man. So anyway, he's trying to navigate on my Macintosh, and it was literally like he knew what he wanted to do, but he just didn't know the commands or how to get there, right? And I was watching him get so frustrated. I could tell, I could tell he was getting frustrated because he knew what he wanted to do and he knew how to do it on a PC. He just didn't know how to navigate on a Mac to get there. So I'm like, okay, what are you trying to do? Okay, well, you got to hold two fingers on it and do this, slide up and down, or you got to do this. So anyway, and he's punching it. Anyway, man, the Mac and the PC are two different beasts, and that's another thing you need to decide whether you want to go Macintosh and start recording on your Mac, or whether you want to go with a PC and put your DAW on a PC and start recording on that. So here's the thing that I've learned with two, because I've used both. I've got a Mac here that I have Nuendo on, and I actually started out with a Nuendo 2.0 on a Macintosh. Then I went Nuendo to a PC when they finally made Nuendo compatible for a PC, and then I went back to a Mac with Nuendo, and then now I'm back using a PC with PreSonus Studio One. So that was my experience using dolls and whatnot. So I love my Studio One. I don't have to keep upgrading with different things. If you need help, you can find it online. There's all these tutorials and whatnot that make it so much easy. And with Nuendo, it was Germans, I think, wrote that all out, and so they're thinking of how to do and go to and from doing things is completely different than what we would logically think on some things. So anyway, it was especially learning it on a Mac, so it took me some time. Wow, did it take me some time? But once I got it, it was great. But here's the thing with Nuendo, man. I had to continue and continue to upgrade every time they upgraded, and continue to just fork out dough and more dough and more dough, man. And that is such a drag whenever you don't want to have to continue to upgrade as you go because it's a year, behind or whatever. So we're going to do a video on that, you guys, Teddy, and I hope that it really, really helps you out as far. Where is that? Oh, wow. Okay. I hope this is funny. I hope that it really helps you out, right? Look at there, man. I'm holding the world in my hand. That's funny. Anyway, man, that's where we want to be. We want to continue to learn, continue to grow, and continue to encourage one another to get in your studio, man, and rock out. I hope this video was successful as far as letting you guys know what between the 55 and the 57. This is a $99 microphone. This is a $149 microphone, and it is a stud. It's a beautiful microphone, man. So the 55 is a beautiful mic. Don't get me wrong. And it is a nice contender in your studio to hang up and do any kind of broadcasting stuff you want. Here's the thing: there's four screws here, and I mentioned the other night. There's two on the top and two on the bottom, and I'm gonna show you right here. There's a two on the top. See them in there, and then there's two on the bottom. See them in there. Okay, you take those four screws out, and this hood just comes right off. Inside this thing right here, there's this thin mesh, and it's that black mesh. You see it? Well, look, you can get different color foam. You can get, I think I seen some on Amazon: blue, red, orange, uh, hot pink. What other colors they have? White, green, yellow. Had all these colors of the rainbow, whatever you could get. And so you can take this apart and you can cut that pop filter stuff to fit in here so that this all your inner mesh is different colors, man. So if you want this to be white, you can white it out. If you want it to be yellow or red, and you can pretty much make it any color you want to in this microphone. And so I think that package was like $12 for like 24 different colors of pop filter material. So I'm seriously thinking about doing that to this mic. And then when I get all the colors in, I'll probably take this apart again, take those four screws off. There's two at the top, two at the bottom, and then the hood comes off. And then there's three more screws on the inside of there holding that capsule in place. Take that off, and that way I can work the back part first. Maybe do red. I don't know. The Fat Boy was like a red rust color when they came out with that mic. The Fat Boy 55. Um, but so I don't know if I'm gonna go red or yellow or green or whatever. I'm just gonna play around with different colors, And here's the thing, man: you could do a multicolor. You could do blue in the back and red in the front, or blue and white. You can just trick it out how you want to trick it out, man. And so I'm gonna do that, man, because those pop filter, like I say, it's not expensive to get it here, shipped here, and just play around with it, right? So these are two great microphones, man, and you can't go wrong with a Shure 55, and you can't go wrong with a 57 because they're just both bad to the bone, man, and they're in every studio, like I said. And no matter which one you use, you're gonna like it. I'm talking to the 57 right now, and you know what? For $100, guys, this microphone does not sound bad at all for $100. I mean, it's just it's amazing they came out with it in 1965. And it's amazing that it's still the major workhorse, as we all know it to be, in every studio and on probably every daggum album that's ever been released, if you really think about it. Because they used one on the drums somewhere, on the snare, on the top or the bottom, and then they used one on the guitar cab. So, all those rock songs that we heard in the 80s and those ripping leads and whatnot, all those head banging groups, we probably heard of going through a 57, right? I mean, that's cool, man, to think of that. But it's been a workhorse in every studio. So look, this is what I say to each and every one of you. If you're starting out, you can't go wrong with the 57. It's $100. And if you're on a budget, man, and you want to build your system around that, spend your money on something else. Get your 57, and then get your DAW and your computer and all that other stuff so you can start recording right away, man. You don't want to have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on a condenser mic, say like this one right here, and then not have any money left over to build your studio, man. But if you're buying smart, then you'd buy maybe a 57 first, $100 in that. You got your microphone, okay? then maybe look into, like I say, a doll that you're familiar with, or a friend that has been using it, and you're not going to spend a whole bunch of time trying to learn the doll once you get that in your computer. If your friend has it and you've been going over his studio, get something that you're familiar with, because it's going to make it so much more funner to go in your studio and have it all set up, have your sessions set up, or you can go in there, and when you're inspired and playing your guitar or whatever, you can sit down, boot up your computer, and you're ready to go, man. There's nothing worse to be inspired or have a song in your head, or something that you want to put down, and then have to go play engineer too, and it takes you 20 minutes to set up a session or whatnot. By that time, you've already lost the vibe of laying down your track. So, keep that in mind, man. That goes a long ways, to have your dolls already set up with, all your plugins on each channel. That way, when you fire it up, you got track one for the kick drum, track two for the snare, and da 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 da, and then all your plugins on that channel itself. It's gonna save you time, man. And you can do what you can get in there and lay those tracks down really quick when you're inspired and you're in that groove, right? Get that click track going, lay it down, and then come lay everything down over that later on, man. But that'll get the idea down, recorded, without you having to spend so much time setting up your doll, right? So that goes a long ways, guys. I've experimented with that, and it's fun to play, to wear all the hats. But when it comes time and you're serious about laying down a track, there's nothing worse than having to repatch things, set your doll up and pull all the plugins in where they need to be and all that stuff, right? You don't need to be doing that. You need to be laying that track down while you're hot on it, while you're feeling it, right? So thank you guys for joining in tonight, man. I'm gonna keep it short tonight because we got a great week coming, the weekend. So tomorrow's Friday. We got some cool stuff tomorrow night going on. I'll probably do another shootout with a microphone before I do this video for Teddy on dolls and whatnot. On getting started. He's really been writing in and wanting to know me to help him out as far as giving some ideas of what direction to go. And I don't mind it, because we all need some directions on what to buy sometimes. And here's the thing: even though I do these reviews and everything, that's really cool, but I want you guys to make your own decision as to what you want to buy, what you want to purchase, da 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 da. Because that way you can that's why I like doing these shootouts, like I say. That way you can make your own judgment as to what microphone you think sounds good and where you want to spend your money. So, anyway, I'm just here just to try to help out and give you guys some good ideas, and then let you kind of put it all together yourself. But thank you guys for joining in tonight. As always, Audio Master Show, we appreciate all of you guys, man. As always, without you, there would be no show. And I just appreciate all you guys hanging out. Until then, we will see you tomorrow.